Hello, my name is Mike McKinley with the Elder Care Law of Kentucky. I'm doing a video today on why you should, if you're over the age of 60, why you should put your house in a trust before you sell it. So often, a lot of my clients come to me and either they've just sold a house or they're contemplating selling their house and they want to wait to put the house in the trust until after they've sold it. And usually, sometimes there's a reason to do that, but usually it's not a good idea. Usually you want to put your house in the trust and then sell it. There's two primary reasons. We'll start with the VA. So if you're a veteran and you served during wartime, there's a possibility that you or your surviving spouse might qualify for aid in attendance. Now, when you apply for aid in attendance, and in order to qualify for that, there's a bright line net worth limit that the VA looks at to see how much money do you have, and if it's over a certain amount, you're not going to qualify for the aid and attendance. So in that calculation, they don't count the value of your personal residence. So if you own a house that's worth a couple $100,000, maybe it's paid for, if you apply for the aid and attendance benefit, they're not going to count that equity against you when they calculate your net worth limit. However, if you sell the house, instead of having an exempt resource, which is a house, now you have money, you've got cash. That is countable. So you could very easily disqualify yourself for a benefit that you might otherwise qualify for immediately just by selling it before you put it in a trust. On the other hand, if you create an asset protection trust, move the house into the trust before you sell it, all the VA sees is that you transferred an exempt resource into a trust, so it won't be counted against you. So then if your trustee sells the house and they could sell it a week later, that sale will not count against you. So the money goes into the trust and is protected, is available if you need it, but it won't count against you in the VA net worth calculation. So the VA is one really big reason why you would want to put it in the trust before you sold it. The next reason is the nursing home. So think about qualifying for Medicaid. If you transfer a house to a trust and then try to qualify for Medicaid, you will be penalized. So there's going to be a penalty calculation. But that calculation is always based on the PVA value of the house when you transfer it. So that's property value administration. Most of my clients' houses, the actual cash value, in other words, what they can actually sell the house for to a third party, is usually way higher than what the PVA value is. So for example, imagine my PVA value is $100,000, but I can sell it any day for $200,000. So the difference in what I can sell it for and what I can, or what the PVA says it's worth, is a $100,000 difference. If I transfer that house into the trust, Medicaid and the nursing home is going to look at that as a $100,000 transfer because that's what the PVA says it's worth. If I then sell the house after it's in the trust, that extra $100,000 that I received in the sale of the house over and above the PVA value is completely protected from the Medicaid nursing home spend down. So just by putting it in the trust before you sell it, you're protecting money right off the top. So that's not always going to be important, but it's more important for some of my older clients because we don't know, based on the statistics, the older you get, the higher the probability is that you're going to go to a nursing home for some amount of time before you pass away. So the headache of putting it in the trust and then selling it is very small compared to the savings that you're going to get by doing that. Now, an exception would be maybe I just bought the house a year ago, so my PVA value is going to almost equal what the actual value is. In that case, it doesn't really matter if you sell it first and then try and protect the money after you sell it. If the house has some damage, maybe it's sat empty, it's got some structural problems to where the PVA value is actually much higher than what you can actually sell it for. Of course, you would want to sell it before you put it in the trust, but that's somewhat rare circumstances. Most of the time, when I say most, 99% of the time, when I look up a PVA value on one of my clients' homes, it's going to be substantially less than what they could sell it for, particularly in today's housing market. So, if you're a realtor and you have a client, excuse me, if you're a realtor and you have a client who's wanting to sell their home and they're above the age of 60, it would behoove you to reach out to an elder law attorney or an advanced estate planning attorney who knows what he's talking about when it comes to VA planning and Medicaid planning, to see if we don't want to move that house into the trust before we sell it. There are no downsides to doing that other than the expense that you would pay an attorney to create the trust. You know, a $200 deed and a $50 recording fee is a small price to pay for being able to protect 50 to 100,000 to even sometimes much more in immediate protection for money that's above and beyond what the PVA says that your home is worth. So you care about your clients, or if you are the client and you care about protecting your money, reach out to us. At least ask your realtor about this. If they don't know what you're talking about, reach out to us. We typically give free phone consultations, so I can talk you through. It'll take me about 10 minutes, if that, to figure out if it's a good idea for you to put your house in a trust before you sell it. So if you need anything, as always, reach out. Elder Care Law of Kentucky. You can find us online. It's just eclky.com. That's Echo Charlie Lima Kilo Yankee.com. And have a great day.